Welcome back to Secrets Behind the Stars, where we don't just recount what happened, we trace the heartbeat beneath the headlines. Tonight's tale lingers on the edge between work and longing, a delicate line where public applause meets private memory in the Turkish entertainment world. What was billed as a straightforward promotional evening took on the rhythm of a reunion scene, the kind that feels written by a playwright who knows the weight of timing. Before we wander into the glow and whispers of this night between Barış Baktas and Yağmur Yüksel, make sure you're subscribed. Your support keeps Secrets Behind the Stars shining with the kind of stories that look between the frames. The venue hummed with anticipation, the kind of hush that falls right before the curtain lifts. It was the premiere of a new series, a proud milestone for Yağmur Yüksel and a statement about her evolving artistry. The prelude unfolded quietly on social media. She posted an invitation whose restraint spoke volumes. A warm gold palette, elegant type, no frills, no noise. It suggested arrival without shouting it, a turning of a page without tearing the last one out. Nobody guessed that the name destined to shape the evening would be one the fans already knew by heart. Then, like a note that changes the entire melody, Barış Baktas stepped onto the red carpet. The shift was immediate. He wasn't simply present, he was purposeful. In a sharply cut black suit and an unhurried stride, he moved as if he understood that arrival itself can be a message. Photographers tried to pull him into the usual chaos. Names were shouted, questions thrown like hooks, flashes clipping at every angle. He didn't flinch. He waited. And when he finally spoke, he offered none of the filler that so often crowds these nights. He didn't refer to her with rehearsed camaraderie. He called her a force, an artist he supports without condition. And his tone made it sound less like a compliment and more like a truth that didn't require permission. The internet didn't just react, it erupted. Clips of him standing steady under the strobe of cameras, juxtaposed with Yağmur taking in the crowd from the stage, flooded timelines within minutes. Comment sections transformed into romantic manifestos. People projected themselves into the space between them, holding up their own memories as proof that timing is a language. Some responded with the language of physics, calling it gravity, the kind that exists even when neither body moves. Others drew attention to how it all played out without theatrics, how the most adult kind of closeness is often quiet but never cold, how it burns differently, more like embers than fireworks. Inside the hall, the story pressed closer to the skin. They weren't seated together, a tidy decision by the hands of public relations. Yet somehow the distance between their chairs felt alive. The moment they shared the same air, the ambience shifted by a half degree. Nothing obvious occurred. And yet everything did. A glance from him while she climbed the stairs to the stage, small but intent. A softening in her expression when an old clip flashed across the montage, the kind of nostalgia that doesn't plead. It played like a film directing itself, the camera finding them even when they didn't look at it. Then came the moment people keep replaying. During her speech, Yağmur paused. Not the kind of pause you take to breathe, the kind you take to feel. The room waited with her. When she spoke again, her voice carried a new texture. She talked about stepping away to see more clearly, about giving space to the things that matter so they can reveal what they are without the glare. She didn't name him, didn't court scandal, didn't feed the rumor mill. But the audience heard the meaning inside the meaning. Their applause said yes, we understand. And right after, before noise reclaimed the room, a camera found Barış. He wasn't applauding for the cameras. He was smiling, a small, unguarded smile that let the polished edges crack just enough for something real to show. Was it pride? Relief? A private acknowledgement of a promise that never needed to be spoken? Fans argued passionately over a silence that seemed to speak for both of them. If you're feeling the current of this night, remember that your likes and subscriptions keep stories like this alive. Hit that button, share this video, and if you want extra deep dives and a chance to pick our next subject, join Secrets Behind the Stars as a member. Your support is the quiet engine behind every frame we examine. Away from the spotlights, the plot folded inward. A person close to Yağmur. Someone who knows her pre-event rituals, the way she grounds herself before stepping into a cavern of cameras, told a small circle of journalists that his appearance wasn't happenstance. She asked him to be there, they said. Not as a favor, and not as a ploy. As ballast. If true, it offers a simple explanation for a complex feeling. Beneath the rumors and old forum threads, there may be a foundation that isn't interested in being loud. There might be trust that doesn't perform. Later, the night delivered a detail that shifted the conversation yet again. From backstage, Barış posted a black and white photo. Grainy, almost tender in its lack of sharpness. No face. Just a silhouette of her, encircled by the glow of stage lights, standing at the edge of a moment. The caption was spare, shaped like a line you only write when you mean it. When courage and talent meet, the work inhales. It could be defended as professional praise, of course. But everyone reading it felt the warmth at the center. It moved through the fan communities quietly and insistently, the way perfume stays in a sweater long after you leave the room. By morning, the game had changed. Outside a radio studio where she was scheduled to appear, reporters waited for a statement they could fold into a headline. They wanted yes. They wanted no. She gave them a door without hinges. With a calm smile, she said that sometimes a steady presence says more than a speech. Nothing contradictable there, and yet the clarity of it made the fandom feel seen. It gave people permission to believe what they felt the night before without handing the tabloids the kind of sentence they can bend into a spectacle. What bubbled beneath the surface, according to one technician who worked the premiere's final cues, was more tactile. In a whisper shared with an entertainment program, he explained that while the chaos surged out front, Barış stayed mostly in the wings. But before the last applause faded, the two of them found a small pocket of privacy. Fingers laced, just for a breath. A quick squeeze. The kind of touch that isn't performance, because nobody's watching. Maybe it's exaggerated. Maybe it's exact. Either way, it fueled new waves of investigation by fans who know how to splice old footage into a present tense. What they found fanned the flames. An older interview resurfaced of Yağmur describing how Barış could cut through a heavy day on set with one perfectly timed joke. Another clip circulated where he spoke about her glow, insisting it's not a technique you study but something you carry. In the light of the premiere, these weren't just niceties. They sounded like foreshadowing, lines that aged into meaning. 2 days after the launch, the point where the noise should fall into a murmur, she posted a 10-second video. Sunlight, soft and new, sliding through a window. 2 cups of coffee idling beside each other, the steam coiling and disappearing. Aesthetic on the surface, but longtime followers remembered a post from his feed years back with the same quiet choreography. The echo felt intentional. Speculation blossomed again, fragile and stubborn all at once. Soon, a grainy photo appeared on forums. The corner of a boutique hotel lobby. 2 blurred figures, leaning close, laughter pausing midair like a secret told and cherished. No confirmation. No named sources. Just the emotional truth of the story already in motion. The machine of publicity rolled out to meet the moment. A representative for Yağmur issued a tidy statement thanking everyone for the support and steering attention back to the project, noting she won't discuss personal matters. On paper, it's clean. In practice, the refusal to swat the rumor flat made it burn brighter. Even the body language specialists stepped in, perched on talk shows with frames paused and arrows drawn. One pointed out the tilt of his head when he listened to her speak, the gentle exposure of his neck, a textbook mark of openness. That's not how you stand when you're guarding yourself. That's how you stand when you feel safe. Then a respected industry outlet reportedly revealed that Barış had declined 2 substantial international offers, both requiring long stretches abroad. He stayed local instead. The article didn't offer a reason. It didn't need to. The timing made people wonder if he was protecting the possibility of something unfinished, if he was keeping room next to him vacant in case a new story wanted to sit down. What we're left with is the rarest thing in a noisy era. Ambiguity that feels generous instead of evasive. No shared press conference. No grand declaration from a balcony. Just decisions that line up like lanterns along a path, lighting the way without showing the destination. Fans are imagining the future from both angles. Some picture them together on screen again, older and steadier, their craft deepened by the lives they've lived, turning roles into something that stings and soothes at once. Others picture them somewhere without cameras, figuring out who they are to each other when there's no costume to take off. So, what do you think is unfolding behind the doors we can't see through? Is this the first page of a rekindled romance, or two artists honoring what they built, carefully, without naming it? And while we're listening to your theories, tell us who else you want us to dissect with this level of care. Should we dive into the off-screen echoes of Karim Burson or the quiet corners of Hand Ursul's world? Or do you have your eye on the bright newcomers sneaking up the ranks? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We read them, every word. Here are the simplest truths at the core of this hurricane. He came. She welcomed the presence. They didn't strain for a headline, and yet their silence roared. In a business that rewards spectacle, choosing restraint is its own vow. A promise to hold something breakable with both hands. Maybe goodbye isn't always a locked gate. Maybe some stories turn back toward the light because they were never really done. Maybe the past, in the right hands, is a seed, patient and brave, waiting for spring. Thank you for spending this evening with Secrets Behind the Stars. If this story held you for even a moment, press like, share it with a friend who believes in timing, and make sure you're subscribed. And if you want deeper access, behind-the-scenes breakdowns, and a voice in what we cover next, check out the join button. Until we meet again, keep your gaze upward. The stars don't always align where we expect them to, but when they do, you'll want to see it happen.